We're going to talk about systems of equations today. All right? A system is a group of two or more. So these two equations are grouped, and we're going to look for one solution to these equations. One solution means that when we graph them, we're going to look for a point where they intersect. Okay? That point where they intersect is going to be the solution. The two numbers that when you put it into the equation, it makes the equation true. And that's exactly what you did for on that lesson 8.2, when you were solving the puzzle. You were looking for a point, the coordinates, that when you put it into the equation, it makes the equation true. All right? So do you understand how a point makes the equation true? It's the two numbers, x and y. When it goes into the equation, it makes the equation true. Well, instead of, we're going to have to check and find that point by graphing two equations. All right? But let's start with just finding the points. And I want you to go to the practice side of your worksheet. Go to the practice side of your worksheet. And we're going to practice inserting the points to see if they make the equation true. All right? So, in number one, we're given two equations. You should. Did you pass them all the way across? Okay. All right, number one, you're given two equations. It says, is each ordered pair a solution to the given system? So let's start with these equations. Y equals 6x plus 12 and 2x minus y equals 4. All right, we have these two equations. Now, what is the name for these two equations? What is it called if you have two equations? Abby? A system. So that word system is referring to two or more equations. Okay? Then they give you this ordered pair. -4, comma, -12. Now, how do you check to see if this is a solution to both equations? Ariana? Good. Replace y with -12, because this is the y coordinate. I know that's what you meant. And replace x with -4, because that's the x coordinate. So 6 times -4 plus 12. And then check to see if it's true. So do that first.
No.
Write it down. Do number one. Number one on the practice side.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it is. That's true.
So, -24 plus 12, is that -12? Yes. So the first one is true, but you've got to check both to see if it's a solution to the system. So we also have to put those same points.
False.
Could you stop making that noise, Roy?
Yeah,
Thank you, because it's really distracting.
I was just trying to.
It sounds like you're playing an instrument.
Yeah.
All right.
The Altoids.
Yeah, playing the alto.
What do you play?
All
right.
Altoids.
You have to make it positive.
So put in 2 times -4
Yeah.
minus
I did that in my head.
2, stop talking please, 2 times -12. Oh, sorry, 2 times -4 minus -12. negative 12. Always put it in parentheses when you substitute the number in. Is that true? Do the math.
Yeah.
Roy, focus. Max, is it true? It is? Negative 8 plus 12 equals 4. That is true. So, if both equations are true with the given point, then we have found a solution to the system of equations. We're looking for this point, and we found the solution. So, yes. Write yes on the line to show that this point is the solution to both equations. Okay? Now, go back to the other side.
No.
Go back to the reteaching side. Here it gives you an example. Here it gives you an example of two equations, and what we're going to have to do is graph them to find the solution, and then check the solution. All right? So we're going to have to graph them first. And we're going to look for a point of intersection. So number one, we're given two equations. 3x plus y equals negative 1. And we'll put the other one over here. X minus y equals negative 3. Okay? Now, to graph these, we've learned two ways to graph equations. We've learned the first way was to make a t-chart and to choose a point for x and solve for y to find 2 points so we can draw a line. All right? We've also learned how to convert this to slope-intercept form by solving for what, Daria? Solving for y. And then graphing the, what are you doing? Making a bunch of noise. Hitting something, I don't know. Can you stop doing that so you can concentrate, so I can concentrate? Solving for y, and then graphing the y-intercept and the slope, okay? Now this one, if we just look at this equation and get rid of the 3x, we'd have it solved for y, right? So that might be the simplest way to graph this equation. Let's do that. So what would we do? Right?
You try to get the y by itself, so you do plus negative 3x.
Good.
And then do it on the next side. And those aren't like compatible or whatever.
Like terms, good.
Like terms. So you do 0 plus y equals negative 1 plus negative 3.
Okay, good. And so y,
That's for y.
yep. And y, this is really frustrating when this happens. Y equals,
1.
no,
Oh,
y equals what?
negative 1 plus negative 3x.
All right, good. And so, of these, which is the y-intercept?
The negative, no wait, yeah, the negative 3x. Oh, the y.
What is
The negative 1.
the negative 1? It's always the one that is not next to the variable, right, Nate? So then, what do? How do we graph this?
You find negative 1 on the y-axis.
Yep.
Then you go down negative 3, and then over 1.
Good. Down negative 3. So it's negative 3 over 1 is the slope. Okay? Even though it looks like it's kind of bleeding or something. Negative 3 over 1, or we could go up 3 and over 1. Anyway, we can draw a line. And it's very important when you're doing this, you want to draw a straight line. Because you're looking for a point where these lines are going to cross. Okay? Let's graph this one. Now, again, we can use a chart, x and y, or we could solve it for y. Okay? Let's use the chart this time. Just mix it up and to review how to use the chart. So how do you use a chart to find points? Who remembers how to do that? Lindsay, do you remember? No? Abby?
No. I kind of do.
Okay, Alex.
So you use 0.
You use 0
and then it would
and
be 1. No, yeah, and then it
so
would
if
be
x is 0
then
minus y equals negative 3.
and then you have to get y by itself, which it already
Well,
is.
what number is missing then?
The y.
Right, what would make this true?
If,
Negative.
wait, negative 3, yeah.
What, negative 3?
Just 3.
Or just 3?
3 minus y.
Would this work? 0
Yeah.
minus 3 equals negative 3?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So 0, 3 would work.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then if you use 1, you can use 1 also.
We can use 1.
And then it would be 1.
So 1 minus y equals negative 3.
And y would be 4.
Yep. 1 minus 4 equals 3, negative 3. So 1, 4 works. Alright? Sometimes it's easier to just choose points to find ordered pairs. Especially if you're working with fractions, or you have to add, if you'd have to add fractions or mix numbers to both sides, you may want to just choose points to eliminate the fractions. Okay? So, we would graph this using these points as ordered pairs. Where is 0, 3 on the graph? Emily? Where is 0, 3? Up 3, yep. 0, 3. Where is 1, 4 on the graph? Jeremiah? Nope, these are ordered pairs. So we go 1, 4. Not up. Remember the x coordinate goes right or left. Good. And you can draw a line through those points. So draw that line. Remember, we're doing number 1. So what do you find? Where do these lines intersect?
2.
What are the coordinates where they intersect?
Negative 1.
Brett?
Negative 1, 2.
Negative 1, 2. Yep, at this point is where they intersect.
Oh.
Negative 1, 2. Right?
Yeah.
And so, when we write negative 1, 2, and use those numbers, they should make the equation true. Both equations true.
So the solution be negative 1.
Well, we have to check. Now we have to check that solution and make sure we have it. So, put in negative 1, 2 into our original equation. So, let's use this color. 3 times -1 plus 2 should equal -1. Is that true?
Yes.
Yep. That's true. And using this equation, -1 minus 2 equals -3. -1 minus 2 equals -3. Is that true?
Yes.
Yep. It makes them both true, and so this is the solution. The solution is -1 comma 2. All right? And that's what you have to do to find the solution to a system. So first you have to graph both, find the point of intersection. This is where it's really helpful to be able to graph more than 2 points, or more than 3 points. When you're graphing, you can follow the slope and you can mark as many points along that slope as you want to. Make sure you draw straight lines to find the point of intersection, and then check your solution. Okay? This is what you're going to be quizzed on next. This is what your next quiz is going to be on. It really encompasses everything that we've been doing up to this point in this chapter. Graphing lines, plotting a slope, finding the solution, checking the solution to see if that is the solution. What are you guys doing? Why are you packing up?
Because it's time to go.
In 4 minutes.
Oh, I thought we ended 5 minutes ago.
No. All right. Your assignment is to do the second one on the reteaching side, and then do 2 and 3, and 4 and 5 on the practice side. Okay?